a lot of elites, because I've been just drilled by TV hosts over the past week.
I can imagine.
How dare you say that, it's not the law of the land, because that's their phrase. It's the law of the land. Michael, Dred Scott decision of 1857 still remains to this day the law of the land, which says that black people aren't fully human. Does anybody still follow
The second principle put down by Chief Justice Taney in the Dred Scott decision was that blacks cannot be citizens of the United States. In a sense, Dred Scott can't even sue because he's not an American. This is one of the best examples of this notion of blacks as aliens. Even though he's born here and everything, he is not an American. The American family, as Taney says, is for white people. And in the most famous sentence in that decision, he says, a black man has no rights which a white man is bound to respect. Now, he's not saying blacks can be killed with impunity. What he's saying is, legally speaking, they are not part of the body politic. They are not part of the we the people that created the Constitution, and therefore they're just outside of the system. So they don't have any rights under the Constitution because the Constitution is for white people.
As the debate rages on about repealing of the 14th Amendment, you see the media focusing on immigration. But nobody seems to want to mention the fact that the 14th Amendment is what supposedly guaranteed so-called blacks.
The 14th Amendment states all persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. In the House, 94 Republicans have backed the Birthright Citizenship Act, and there's growing support among Republicans in the Senate. Huffington Post reports Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell supports a review of the 14th Amendment. On Sunday, Republican Senator John Kyle of Arizona appeared on CBS's
Do you
Face the
envision
Nation.
federal police kicking in the doors in barrios around the country, dragging families out and putting them on a bus? Do you envision that?
Bill, I don't think they have American citizenship.
I was talking to a former DOJ attorney yesterday about the 14th Amendment, and before O'Reilly and Trump even talked, and they said that because the 14th Amendment was written specifically about slaves after the Civil War
and American Indians,
many lawyers think the 1898 case involving this.
One of the greatest contradictions in the so-called American system regarding so-called blacks is the fact that they have temporary voting rights. Right now, as we speak, so-called black people's voting rights are set to be renewed in 2031. The Voters' Rights Act in 2013, the 4th and 5th sections were struck down. These sections were the pre-clearance sections, which allowed states to create restrictive voting laws. Now again, the media focuses on immigration and so-called Latin American immigrants that do not have IDs. But these take aim directly at the so-called black community. Again, further amplifying the contradiction that so-called blacks are not full citizens.
Of this notion of blacks as aliens. Even though he's born here and everything, he is not an American. The American family, as Taney says, is for white people. And in the most famous sentence in that decision, he says, a black man has no rights which a white man is bound to respect.
I ask you, is there any other group of citizens that have to have their voting rights renewed periodically? This, if nothing else, is clear evidence that so-called blacks do not enjoy full citizenship.